Hey everybody, Brian Hunt here with you, and going to be trying something a little bit different in this video, and you guys let me know in the comments below, is this something you want to see more of? It's something I really want to try and keep pushing forward in this year. Really just trying to create content that some stuff that I've seen and styles that I've seen that I've been following along with for a while. Cranky Cameraman is somebody that I've been following, I think, for a couple of years. And he was kind of the first one that kind of got me onto this style of doing things where you're kind of vlogging, or maybe less polished stuff, but more informational and giving other people that are in the industry, in the film and television, working as a freelance videographer or DOP, information about what he's doing and how he's doing it and why he's doing it. And it's really useful stuff. It's less flashy than kind of traditional video YouTubers. The problem I find a lot of times with some of those people that I know for sure a lot of them actually don't work in the industry. So they're just kind of doing camera reviews and they're, creating content for YouTube, but they're not really relatable to myself in what I do for work and kind of how I want to develop as a cinematographer, as a director of photography, as a videographer, or whatever somebody wants to call me or call myself. And that's what I've been really liking on this style of videos. David Moorfield is somebody else I've been following. And David actually had a video called Working Class YouTubers that he posted kind of beginning this year. And I'm going to link to that up here as well. It's really great. It has some other resources, other people doing similar things. And again, same kind of thing. He's going out in jobs, he's explaining why he's doing the jobs that way. He's explaining, money he made for the year, what made him money, what didn't make him money. Really useful things for other people, again, that are working in this industry. So that's what I'm trying to start on and do some more content like. I definitely still will do some reviews and some other things on techniques or ways of using some software and some stuff like that. But really, and it's kind of always been that way for me, I try to do reviews really only on stuff that I use or have used and have a good experience using. I'm not just getting a product and just reviewing it for the sake of reviewing it. It has typically always been stuff that I own and I either really liked and it was a good investment, or I didn't like and it wasn't a good investment. Just trying to be very honest that way. And a lot of times you don't know with products until later on. So that's why, there's some other, again, video YouTubers that are doing reviews, but it's like, it's very easy to review something for YouTube and that is your job kind of thing. Not very easy, but it's a different thing. But when you're actually working with something is very different. So having people that can be giving that kind of information to other people, I find very useful. And I want to, kind of spread that knowledge of myself or things that I've used and techniques that I've done. So I'll be doing some more kind of like that. There is some other products that I've been using for a while that I'm going to be doing a kind of a longer dive review into. Cartoni tripod that I've had for a couple of years that I just love. Going to be my favorite tripod so far and kind of style of work that I do. Going to be going into some of the things happening with one of my FX6s that's at Sony right now getting repaired. It's been there for a couple of months. It's going to be a costly repair, but that was one of the first FX6s that came into Canada, I guess, 2001? No, not 2001, sorry. I'm a bit dyslexic. 2021 or 2020. It could be 4 or 5, getting close to 5 years old. But anyways, it needed a lot of work done. That will be a separate video. So for this video, I'm going to go over kind of what my week was like, my week of production. It's January and I'm here in Ontario, Canada. And it's cold, and we're having a cold spell, and I do a lot of work outside. So this week was a challenging week, but we got a lot of great stuff done. So I'll kind of go through kind of day by day on my different shoots and kind of let you guys know what happened and give some insight on what gear I was using and why I was using stuff a certain way. We'll start off just on the Monday this week. I was not in any shoots. I was just kind of around getting gear prepped, doing some pre-production work, invoicing, things like that we all have to do for our business, catching up on some of the paperwork. So that was good to have a day not shooting. The next day, actually, I'm lying to you. That day was only a half day. So first half of the day, the Monday, I was shooting. I was shooting at a construction site from a home that's being built. There's a home builder in the area where I live that does very high-end homes. There's about 7 ski resorts, or there's 7 private ski clubs and 1 public ski club where I live, in the area that I live in Ontario. So there's a lot of money with the private ski clubs, especially. So around a lot of the private ski clubs, there can be these kind of ridiculous home builds and some really cool home builders that are doing stuff. So there's a home builder that I've been doing a bunch of work with, does amazing projects. So we got to film, getting content at one of their properties. They were moving in some stairs, craning them in over the house. So I was doing some drone stuff. I was shooting some time lapse with the GoPro. I was shooting stuff in the FX6 and just trying to, get some content that way. The big challenge from this shoot was the temperature. It was feeling about minus 25 Celsius. I do not know what that is in Fahrenheit. I don't know Fahrenheit very well at all. Celsius just makes sense. I mean, 0 is the freezing point of water. 100 is the boiling point of water. And so it's easy just to figure out. America uses Fahrenheit. I can't figure it out. Anyways, so I don't know what minus 25 Celsius is in Fahrenheit, but it's very damn cold. I'm used to shooting outside in the cold. I do a lot of work like this. I do a lot of tourism and other outdoor activity kind of shoots. And I would say more than 50% of my jobs that I do are outdoors. And so I do shoot in a lot of different climates and different weather situations. But this is really challenging. There's a lot of things with holding a camera, keeping your hands warm, keeping the camera warm, keeping your batteries warm, stopping your cameras from fogging up when you're going from indoors to outdoors. If you have to do anything like that, those kind of extreme temperature shifts can cause some big problems with equipment. So out there, I had, my classic I have a pair of gloves that I wear that are kind of touchscreen gloves that are thin, but I can still kind of get around the camera, do some stuff on the monitor. There's not really works that well, but I can still do that. Then I'll have another pair of mitts that are put those my glove into, or my hand into as well with the other gloves on. And then I use these, the hot paws, kind of hot, the chemical hand warmers that you shake up, called hot hands or hot paws. I use those quite a bit. They work very well, so I'll put those in my gloves as well. Really layering up on what I was wearing clothing-wise. It was a construction site, so I had to have steel-toe boots on. I don't have winterized steel-toe boots, so really bundled up my socks that way. And then I had to wear a hard hat on this site as well. But that was half the day on the Monday. Got a whole bunch of stuff shot. Got stuff shot with the Insta360, some time-lapse stuff that way. Again, some drone stuff, and stuff from the ground, and some time-lapse with the GoPros. The GoPros, they suck for cold. Like, they've gotten better over the years, but they really suck in the cold, especially when it's that cold. Like, I had to have an external battery plugged in, and the battery was just charged, and it was fully charged, and it was giving me warning of dying within 5 minutes or something ridiculous. So GoPro needs to get better at their cold temperature batteries. Insta360 stuff, no problem. I've never really had any problems with Insta360 stuff in the cold. Yeah, so that was the Tuesday shoot. Then after I was done that, I came home, and then I started doing that kind of paperwork and other stuff ready, and then get ready for those other days of shooting. So the next 2 days of shooting was with a long-term client of mine. It's actually a client I've been doing work with since, I think the first job I did for them was 2008. And I've done jobs with them every winter since. It's a ski resort in the area here. Great client, stuff that I love to do, and outdoor skiing or snowboarding. They have a lot of summer activities as well, so I shoot a lot of content for them throughout the year. Great people in the marketing department there, so they're always fun to work with. The Tuesday was a shoot where we brought up some hired talent from the city, from Toronto, and a majority of them were from Toronto, and they were learning to ski. So we're actually taking there are some people that already knew how to ski, and we switched them over to snowboards and stuff, but it was getting content of lessons and people working that way, and there's a photographer working with us at the same time, which is typical as well. And we were just kind of capturing content, getting a bunch of different things that could be then cut into many different things later on. So we typically doing all the post work. My production company will handles all the kind of video content, not just shooting with them, but also creating the content, doing the video editing. Some other couple of people on staff that I'll introduce to you guys later in some of these videos. But we're kind of gathering all this footage for this year, and this will typically be used for next year, maybe some stuff used this year as well. But again, this shoot was very cold, about minus 25 as well, feeling like that. So just a hard time holding the camera. I'm trying to keep mitts on. Holding on to pieces of metal is not great when that's that cold. I was having a few issues with monitors. LCD screens can seem to lag a little bit or get a little bit of jitter to them when it gets that cold and kind of below minus 20. I found that my autofocus wasn't working as well, and then it was tricky with the gloves on. Sometimes the touch doesn't work all the time, so the touchscreen autofocus wasn't always working, and it seemed the autofocus was kind of, maybe the motors were having problems with the colds a bit. And that day as well, we actually went indoors to shoot over lunch. So we were getting our own lunch, but also getting shots of, the talent having lunch and stuff that way for the resort as well. So to make sure my camera wouldn't freeze up, and we had about half an hour to shoot this content, and I'd be shooting outside in the minus 25 all morning, I took another camera, an A7S III, and on a gimbal, and I put that indoors when I first got to the location, so that I could just stay inside and stay warm. You can have big problems with cameras going in and out between extreme cold and kind of normal temperature or humidity, with lenses fogging up. This can just really stop you the ability to shoot, because your lens will fog up. Your sensor sometimes will get condensation on it. Your sensor will sometimes get condensation on it as well. And it can be kind of an issue with your electronics and stuff inside. So you do have to be careful this way. So that worked out, got those shots, and we went back outside and shot again. Pretty much a long day. Went back home and charged up batteries. And these shoots as well, I should say, the first day, Monday, I was just on my own. The second day I did have a camera assistant or a PA/camera assistant with me, Jonah, who does a bunch of work with me. So he was helping me get some carrying around gear, swapping out batteries, running around getting things that I need. And he was getting some of the behind the scenes shots as well, which was great. Thank you, Jonah, for that. The next day was an on-hill content with some of their staff, a bunch of their ski school staff and stuff, but just in regular dress wear and stuff, because we're going to get them as kind of looking like public just out skiing. So this is just gathering content of some beauty ski shots. So we were getting on the hill early in the morning, gunning out there. Weather was pretty good. I mean, again, it was very, very cold, but light was coming and then going. It looked beautiful sometimes, and then kind of lost that. But yeah, we got those shots. It's actually been really great getting those 2 days of shooting like that, because the years prior to that have been not great snow seasons in Ontario, Canada, and I think even in Eastern North America, Western North America, last year was a pretty terrible year for snow as well. So it'd been 2 years since we've got like really good snow footage. We got stuff last year, but just it wasn't as beautiful as it could be because of the temperatures weren't there. So it was really good that we could get this footage and get the stuff in the can. There's a bunch more shoots of these coming up where we're capturing more content. So, but it worked out that day. We kind of wrapped in the afternoon, got some good stuff done. The Thursday, I was just again in the office getting stuff ready for Friday, kind of the same thing. So I had 2 kind of down days, I guess, but they're not work days. They're getting other things done, prepping cameras. I find for myself, if I have, more than 3 shoot days a week that are all separate shoots, if they're like completely separate shoots, different clients, different things like that, that's really taxing. Like that's kind of what my sweet spot, where I like a lot. You have those 2 other days to help get ready, or camera prep, or a day in between to kind of rest, because sometimes it's going to be these very long days. There's a lot of times where I do shoot 5 or 6 days or 7 days for the week. It's part of being, I think, in production and doing this line of work, that you just kind of take the work when it comes as well, because there can be times when you're home for or maybe you're shooting 1 day a week for a couple of weeks, so you're making up for that time, but it is taxing that way. So having a couple down days where, again, I'm still doing work, I'm just not out shooting, getting gear ready, picking up stuff, figuring out what's happened, doing some editing, working with my editors, having production meetings, pre-production meetings, working on pre-production stuff. So it's still busy that way for sure. And then today is Saturday, and I had another shoot at the same ski hill this morning. So sort of like a half-day shoot, but that was with adult ski program. So adults learning to ski. They want some content, need some content of that. So we were out with them kind of half day on hill today. It wasn't as cold today. It was maybe, minus 15 or so, which did make a big difference, actually. It wasn't as cold on the hands. It was a bit more manageable that way, but still cold. And we were just moving around a lot on the mountain. I was shooting mainly that FX6 the whole time because we had to move really quickly. And then I had a lapel mic on the instructors, and then switching between different instructors with the lapel mics. And that worked well. One of the things that I'm probably going to do a review on and talk about the way I use my media on a lot of jobs, and the way I did this week as well, is I'm using these, a lot of times I'm using these 1 terabyte cards. So these 1 terabyte cards, they're actually discontinued, and I think there was some thought that they could have issues, but the way that I use these is I can get a ton of recording time on these 1 terabyte. I use 2 of them, and I simultaneously record to both of them, and I do not format these until I need to, really, until I don't have enough room for another shoot. So I still have, probably a couple 100 gigs left on here, and I use this all week. So what I like about this is that I have another form of backup. So every day I'm coming back and I'm transferring to my NAS, and then I'm also making another backup of it that I'm giving to my editor that puts on his NAS as well, so we have in multiple places. I just like the idea that, every day I'm not just formatting over the cards every day. I still have all the footage there, so if something did happen, the likely chance that I'll still have it all on here. Actually, this style of kind of using these cards, a good friend of mine, I kind of mentioned a way of doing this when we were in Scotland on a shoot earlier last year, in May last year, and kind of mentioned that as a way of doing it, and just keeping all the footage on there and doing it throughout the week, and not really, that was a feature film, and not needing to format the media unless we got to the point. So we have 2 backups already, plus backups we're doing every night. He really liked the way of doing that, and he was working on another documentary with Mark Bone. I'm going to link to that up here. Documentary with Sebum, big deal bodybuilder, if you know who he is. But they started using this kind of method with these cards for most of that documentary. It's kind of a great way. I like having these big cards again, and then double recording just for safety in case something happens to one of the cards, and in case you just have 2 backups of things, and it just makes you feel good. Extra backup is always good to have. So that was this week's week of production. That was kind of the working class, what I was doing this week. Next week is becoming looking like a busy week as well. I have some shoots, setting up in Toronto for a shoot on Tuesday, but also shooting around here Tuesday morning and then Tuesday evening. So I'm driving 2 hours, coming back here, shooting. Then Wednesday I have a interview green screen shoot in Toronto. And then there's another shoot on the Thursday. I can't remember. But I will do another video like this. If you guys are liking this, let me know what I can improve on this. What other information would you guys like to see? What tutorials and things and processes that I'm using that would you like to see on how I'm setting up my FX6 when I'm shooting in the cold? If there's different things like that, please let me know in the comments, and I'll try to get a lot more stuff out to you guys like this. Just really, passing on stuff that I know, and hopefully it's useful to other people, because I really appreciate all the other YouTubers and guys that are working and giving their knowledge as well and spending the time to do that, because it helps me as well for sure. So thanks so much, guys. Please think of subscribing to the channel if you can. It really helps, and we'll see you guys in the next one.